Well,
You see the Rams
I
being
think
that
we
way,
have
or you
some
think it's going to be tough?
We got some big decisions that have not been made yet
Right.
by the Rams. Is Sean McVay going to be back? Is Aaron Donald going to be back? If both of those guys are gone, that changes everything.
Of course, right.
For the Los Angeles Rams. So I want to wait and see how that plays out. And it may
OBJ,
just be,
is he be back? How's that going to go?
Hey,
You're right.
Speaking of guys who go by initials, MDS from PFT pointed out yesterday that when you look at when Odell Beckham Jr. tore his ACL during the 2020 season and when he was cleared to play in 21, that same timeline for the same injury to the same knee this year, he misses all of the season. He misses all of it. So he's starting from square one all over again. And, you've never had the torn ACL, but you've been around guys who have rehabbed that injury. I mean, you rehabbed something more serious. But the ACL rehab is grueling. It's difficult. And to think that you've done it, you had the new ACL, you did everything you could to get back to the point where you could be the player that you were, and now you have to do it all over again. It's heartbreaking to think what this guy's going to have to go through over the next year.
No doubt about it. It's a brutal injury, especially for a wide receiver. You said it right. It's a grueling process of getting everything strong in that knee. Then you get to a point where you go, oh, wait, I'm pretty good. I'm a normal functioning human. Look, I can walk and run. But then you get out there and go, wait, now it's time to run like an NFL receiver. And you go, well, damn, I can't really cut and explode the way I need to as an NFL receiver. It's cool when I'm hanging out with my friends and I'm running around a little, but there's a different level of expectation there. And, yeah, that's where it's going to be tough. I mean, we are in an era where we see people come back from the ACL 7-8 months, around that time period. Hopefully this will be faster. But it is rare that we see ACL, same leg, 2 years in a row this day and age. We don't see that a whole lot. That's a little concerning to me. And the last thing, Mike, I'll say it. I've been waiting to say this all week. Can we get rid of mother effing field turf in football? Can we get rid of it? I want to say it so bad because it deserves an F word really bad. But can we get rid of it? We talk about all the money and stuff, and the owners don't want to spend money on anything. Owners, you will save so much money and won't have to sign extra players on your roster, and you'll make money that way. I know you'll have to, maybe take care and cut the lawn every now and then and pay the bill there for the grass. But can we get grass fields in every stadium? I've had enough, like we've talked about before. The great soccer players over in Europe won't even play. It's in their contract. They will not play on field turf. We are ruining people's careers. We worry about, player safety and all that. None of the players like to play on field turf over grass. None. It's 0.000. They got to change it. It's ridiculous. And I blame it on the turf and the NFL for part of the reason Odell got hurt.
And this pops up every once in a while, and it is incomprehensible to me. Even if you're cheap, you have an investment. Even if you
that's what I don't get.
Even if you view these guys as robots, and you don't care about them as human beings, and you become completely desensitized to it because it's this constant churn. We get 90 guys in the offseason, we tell 37 of them to go away, and then throughout the season we get rid of this guy gets injured. They're no longer humans. They're just replacement parts. You still want those parts to work. Even if you don't view them as human beings, you still want them to work.
Right.
You want your investment that you've made in these parts, you want to put them in a position, in an environment, in a machine that allows them to not break.
Right.
That's what's so ridiculous about it. Like, how much could it cost? And hey, we saw that stadium. We saw it. Okay, right. It's going to be the magnet for a Super Bowl every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Why didn't they build it with the Allegiant Stadium or the State Farm Stadium?
I know.
Slide in a tray of grass from somewhere. Have it come up from underground. Have it drop from the ceiling.
Right.
I mean, hell, everything else they have there, they could have
top-notch.
figured out some way to get grass in there and take the grass out and put something else in if they wanted to. They could do it all if they wanted to do it.
I know. It's frustrating. It really bothers me as an ex-player. It bothered me when I was playing in the NFL 10 years ago. Or now it's 11 or 12 years ago. Holy crap. But it bothered me then.
You're getting old.
Yeah, I know. And it bothered players then. It did. I can tell you that even if we had a day, whether I was working for New England or playing for Denver or the Titans, if we had a day where, hey, we're going to go on the field turf today and practice there or go indoors, the players hated it. I mean, especially the linemen. They hated it. Oh, man. Really, I'm going to go in there. It feels different.
What about it? Tell us. Tell us what the difference is.
There's just less give in the ground when you make cuts. You know, of course, grass, again, really cut well, good grass. Like, your cleats go into it. You make tough cuts, but you feel a little give. You know, again, you're wearing the same cleat, but now you're in a field turf, and yes, there's those black rubber pebbles and everything, but you can at times, the cuts can be very jarring. There is no give. That cleat gets in there, and it's stuck in there. You know, so there's that issue, let alone because of the rubber pebbles and everything, there's a lot of, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, Mike, but there's reshock, right? Like the rubber sends, forces back into your feet, your ankles, your calf muscles, your quads, to where your legs feel more tired playing on that surface as compared to grass. Like, I remember the first few times I was on it, I was cramping in my calf muscles and my shin, like in the second quarter of a game, and I was like, man, what the hell is going on with me? I've never had this, but it was that. So those are the issues there. It's just too jarring, especially for wide receivers and running backs who got to plant that foot in the ground hard and make really sharp, explosive cuts.
And we saw that step by Odell Beckham Jr. that really didn't look all that egregious.
Right.
Blow out the ACL.
Right. It's just like he steps, the foot got stuck, there's no give, and then the only give left was the knee. So the knee gives. And that's where it stinks. It was a little bit of a bad throw. So he's planted that left foot in the ground to kind of readjust his body. But as he did that, there was no give. It doesn't move. And this is, to me, just where I wish it would change, to your point. And again, we're talking about the NFL, who doesn't want to get extra referees, no sky judge, no full-time referees, not have people to check the gauge of the air. Again, these things so they're worried about saving money there, but they don't worry about, wait, I have a guy on my team who's making $2 million a game, and if he gets hurt, I still got to pay him his $2 million a game, and yet now I'm going to have to sign somebody else and pay that person money too. And that, to me, is where expenses get up there for NFL teams and owners. I mean, I know that. When, a lot of injuries, we got to sign extra players. Now we have to pay them along the players we already had on the roster, and that's where I don't get it. And I'm sure cutting the lawn and painting the grass would be a lot less money than having to sign all these extra players and pay people not to play because they're hurt from field turf.
And you're not going to have your best players.
Exactly.
Regardless of the money that you got to spend on someone else, and you're not getting value from the guys you've already paid, your best players aren't available to play because they're injured because you're too damn cheap. And I'd love to know why, of all the other bells and whistles they have at SoFi Stadium, why they didn't come up with a way to have real grass on that field. With everything else that was a priority for Stan Kroenke.
Funny. I know. I don't get it either.
Why wasn't that on the radar screen for Kevin Demoff or one of these other masterminds that put this thing together, this football palace? Was it unsightly to have a big tray of grass outside? Who cares the rest of the days of the week? You slide it in for the football games. It's in there. It's not taking up any space. It's not an eyesore when somebody drives by SoFi Stadium and say, boy, it would look a lot better if there wasn't a football field outside. Why is there a football field outside? It's just stupid. There's no reason. There's no reason. I agree with you. Even in a dome stadium, we know of at least two, and maybe there's more, but I know of at least two, the one in Phoenix and the one in Las Vegas, where the tray comes out. It all goes out, and they can take care of it in the open air. They can water it.
Houston's is that another one? It's grass, even though it's indoors. Now, I know the roof opens, so they could do it that way. But I want to say Houston also has that same thing where they can roll it in and roll it back out. There's something there. But to your point, we have the technology to do it regardless. So that there's no excuse. And, I don't know why they didn't do it. They opted not to. Probably why. Because they could get 8 more suites on field level right there and get an extra $8 million from everybody in the world. That's why, probably. And it has something to do with that. Wait, we can have the roll-in field, or we can have 8 more suites and make more money. Screw the players in the field. Let's get the more suites. I mean, that probably is what it came down to.
The other thing, too, that I want to mention before we move on, those little rubber pellets are toxic, they believe.
Crap.
And there have been studies as to whether and to what extent they cause cancer in soccer players, goalies who get them kicked into their mouth. You have an open wound that has them kicked into them. They are old tires that have been ground up And hey, at least they found a use for some of the old tires that are all over the place.
Right.
But yeah, if it's going to make people sick over the long haul, and they never really even seemed to think about it before they said, well, we need some cushion for this new fake grass we've come up with. What should we do? Hey, let's ground up a bunch of tires. Hey, great idea. We got a bunch of old tires, in a pile out here. Let's do it. Yeah, and it may be causing problems that way.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.